Hey guys, welcome back to Math with Miss L. Today we're talking about back to basics for fractions. And you'll notice that I have my lucky little whiteboard right back here. We're going to be going through a lot of visuals, which means pictures, some examples of what exactly fractions are, where do we see them in life, and why are they important. So stay tuned. Here we go. All right, guys. So very quick, numerator, denominator. We're going to really talk about what each part means just as a refresher for people who have slept since last year when you got taught it in third grade. Or if you're just coming back to my channel, well, welcome back. Let's go ahead and talk about these. So sorry for the camera going in and out. It has to focus. So we're going to try this very slowly. And here we go. Numerator is the part of a whole. So we need to make sure that we understand that it is part of a whole. Okay, part of a whole. Next, our denominator is actually the total parts. The total number of parts in a whole. I think the biggest key word here is total. So let's just remember, we can look at these visuals right here. If we take a look, we see that there's a lot of things happening with our visuals of what's shaded, what's not shaded. So be careful. Sometimes they try to trick you. A clock. A clock is actually a whole, right? There are 60 minutes or there are 12 hours, and they are broken down into increments of 5 or 5 minutes. So even a clock would be like a fraction of an hour or a fraction of a whole day. So we use that. Number lines. So understanding and remembering how to label a number line. We definitely need to go over that. So let's go ahead and start reviewing. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with 4, 6, for example. So 4, 6. If I were to draw a picture, this is my one whole. So this is my one whole, and we could say cake. Now, I like to say our denominator is the total amount of parts. So if we were at a birthday party, right, we got some balloons going on, woo woo. Let's say that we shared with 6 people. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's make it a little bit bigger. 6. So 4, 6. Let's say that 4 people ate their piece of cake. So I'm going to go ahead and shade in 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. So how I could do this is I could write 1/4. Sorry, not fourths, right? We're talking about sixths. So 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, and 6/6. So I stopped at 6/6 because that is also one whole. So if I said, if I asked how many kids ate their cake, you could say 4, 6. Or you could ask how many or what fraction did not. And that could be the ones that left it on their plate. So that could be resembled as 2/6. So there's so many different ways of doing this. Now, that's just a refresher. Let's go ahead and come back to this whole 4, 6. Let's remember that we can also show a fraction on a number line. So I would start at 0 because right over here, we could start at 0 and we can make it go all the way to 1. Now, if I have 6 people, I'm going to break it into 6 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I love to count my spaces in between because this is what I end up doing. I actually end up creating a chocolate bar. I make my fraction lines or my dashes longer, and I connect all of it. So here is my top chocolate bar. If I want to, I could make those go away, and there's my chocolate bar. So there's 0. I know that there are 6 pieces in total, so that my denominator is 6. And right here on this line, that's my first line. So that is 1/6. Now, some people right here want to call this 1/6. That's not the best idea because you have to start at a certain point. And we're saying that this is actually 0/6, right? 0 parts out of 6 whole pieces. So then my next line would be 2/6. You have 3/6, 4/6, 5/6. And I always have my students not just write 1, but they also write 6/6 as well, just as a reminder. Okay, that is something. And if we're going all the way to 4/6 on a number line, you usually have a point. And I usually have them shaded in up until that point. So that is a reminder about fractions there. In our next few videos, we'll get a little bit more complicated. If you had something like, let's say, 8/8, hopefully we're making sure that that is equal to 1 whole because you have a whole, and it could also be maybe a circle, or it could be that you have 8 of something. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fractions can look a lot of different ways. It doesn't just have to be a square. It doesn't just have to be a circle. It could be a lot of things. The thing is, though, is that are these even? Are they equal parts? This one is not. So your fractions have to be equal parts. So I'm going to try that again as best as I can. Those look pretty even to me. And let's count the pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome. So we have 8 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 pieces over here. So you just want to make sure they're pretty even in size. And 8 out of 8 means that you are either shading or maybe leaving them unshaded. It all depends on the question. So this is 8/8. Over here, these are all shaded. And that is 8/8. Remember, you could stop at 0/8. Our number line could even look different. We could maybe start at 0 over here and go all the way to 1. And we have 8 parts. And like I said, I like to make my chocolate bar so I could really see those lines. And this would be 0/8. You would have 1/8 right here. You could say 2/8, 3/8. Sorry, you can't really see that. 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and 1 whole is equal to 8/8. So that's another way you could write a fraction. 8/8 right here is the same as 8/8 over here. You could also, of course, if we said 8/8 over here, there are 8 circles and all 8 of them are dark. And you could label your unit fractions. A unit fraction is when you talk about one part of the fraction. You just talk about one unit or one part. And we will be getting into unit fractions in our next video. There we go. All right, so enough of review. Let's see what else we can do. All right, guys, so that was a very quick refresher about basics for fractions. The biggest thing, once again, is just that we understand what our numerator is and what our denominator is and what it is not. So make sure to keep looking over this video. Hopefully this will help you label unit fractions and regular fractions. Hopefully it also makes you expand your idea about where do we see fractions in life. It is not just in a book. It is not just in math class. They are everywhere, everywhere. I also challenge you to maybe look and see a recipe online and see if you can find fractions there, like 3/4 of a cup of flour. I wonder what I would use flour for. Anyways, thank you for coming by and learning with me. I will see you later. Don't forget to subscribe, like our videos, and comment down below what videos you'd like to see that'll help you learn better in math class. Bye, guys.